Hello and welcome, beautiful sisters. So here I am inside shortly after recording those first welcome messages for you. And I feel there's, I want to say sort of a anxious, nervous energy about, and yet it feels very exciting. So I'm just going to have a sip of my tea here. That is a combination of peppermint and chamomile this morning. I was going for chamomile and they only had one chamomile tea bag. So I said, oh, just throw a peppermint in there for me. So I'm guided I thought I'd be in the backyard recording for you right now. On Friday, this room and all of the decks that wanted to work with us for this circle were set up. So I will share pictures of the setup because it's just easier than walking around with my laptop to show you. I've already taken pictures of it. I was wondering where I was going to start with you today, and I was guided that I had set up some stuff back here as well. And the two decks that wanted to be back here are the Magdalene Oracle and the Blue Angel Oracle. So those are the decks we're going to work with for these messages. First, though, we smudge some Palo Santo. Nice deep breathing. Nice deep breathing. And within this circle, I ask that all are cleansed and operating from the highest vibration of light that they are able to sustain in an integral and grounded way. And I ask that I'm a clear and pure channel to bring through messages of the divine through the causal body of God, in which we are all connected. So, really interesting. I found this stone at the lake today. Well, I didn't find it today. I picked it up today. I've been looking at it for about a week, again, under the tree where I found the abundance of Amazonite and other amazing crystal friends. I was guided to pick it up today. And I felt like it was a new sun rising. It's really interesting because I connected here with some Scorpio energy. And rising up, each of us rising up from the depths of our Scorpio and shining from that space. I'm not sure what else is, there's a lot in here. But right now it's just the sun. This is like a dragon, Scorpio type energy, and this feels just very much like we are now at a position where we are rising. We'll see if more comes through. I kept feeling fox within that stone as well. So I'm going to reach back here and grab these two decks, and they have been sitting with some rose quartz and Amazonite. And that's predominantly what we have on this shelf is rose quartz, the Amazonite wand, and then we have the calcite tower up there. So I'm guided to start working with the Magdalene Oracle. Color. This one keeps coming through for us, and in soul messages and yearlies, this card is a big theme for, I want to say 2018 is like we are bringing more color to our lives. We are the joy in our lives. We are stabilizing really the frequency we want to put out and the colors we want to share. We are the artists that are given a brand new canvas. And upon it, we can create and draw anything we'd like. It's so beautiful that this card comes out because it's been coming out a lot as well, the Miracles card. And here we have the Ankh, or the key of life. There's that golden sun within this tree. And it's really funny because the sun, I mentioned it in the first video, the sun is very strange looking today. And it looks, if you didn't know, you might in fact think it was the moon. And I do believe that everything, particularly the moon and the sun, are all aligned right now with the galactic center. So this is a new beginning for us, and we go forward in Technicolor, in living color, in from the truth of the light that we are, in remembering and acknowledgement of all that we came here to do. And for years, it may have felt like we were, I want to say, on the outside. One more wants to come. So it may have felt like we were on the outside and not really knowing our place or where we fit in. And it's because we didn't come to fit in. We came to do all the work that we have done to this point so we could support those who are now just stepping upon their awakening journey. And we have to remember, for so many, awakening is harsh. It's not gentle and, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And it's really not, because when we truly awaken to our spirituality, our spirit, our essence, our true essence, then we have to clear all that human stuff, all that genetic gunk, everything that we came with. And we've been clearing this for lifetimes. And this is the lifetime that we came to be cleared and shine, and clear the way for others to shine. So the next two cards that came out from this deck are Acceptance, which many of you will have seen before. And then, of course, we have Mother Mary. And Kuan Yin has been all around us for days, from the time that I started tuning into this full moon energy. It was Kuan Yin's presence, and here we have the goddess of many names. So here's another divine feminine mother energy, or another representation of that energy. And, it's really beautiful, because every time I connect with Mother Mary, there's always that Jesus connection, as well as Archangel Michael, particularly within this depiction where she's all blue, and yet we see that she stands in the purity of her own heart, in the purity of her truth. And this is where, and it's a soul truth. There's a lot of green in here. I'm not sure if you can see because the lighting is not great in here, but there's quite a bit of green here. And so the truth is, it is our soul light that came here to Mother Earth to shine. When we connect with this sun here today, our sun doesn't look like that today, the sun in the sky today. Yet we've all seen this, and this has kind of got the same feel, because when the sun does look like that, there's always this strange, I want to say, like just a strange or strangely magical feel to it. And that's what it's about. Acceptance of life on life's terms. Where we are now, the state, I want to say the state of the union. The state of the union or reunion within you. How are you feeling at this stage of the game, at the end of the year? Many of you who are here now have been here all year. And in fact, you've been here with me for years. And for that, I am eternally grateful. And now is a time for us all to reassess and to assess how we doing. It's almost like I want to say a checklist. It's almost like an inventory, if you will. Like, what do we want to keep, and what are we called to let go, so that we can welcome more in? Because each and every time we let go, we allow more to fill that space. We allow something new, something more joyful to fill that space. And that is a divine truth. Like, when we let go, it's not like truly like that we're losing anything and we're running a deficit, because we're creating space where something else may come in, something else that's more fulfilling to us. We've got a lot coming in. Okay, so I want to touch upon the dreams that I've had. And it's the divine order of Magdalene Sisters that's really calling us to clear this mother wound. And we've been working at it, many of us, for years. And now it's almost like it's come to a head. Now it's, the ugly wound that had been festering for so long, not necessarily within us, because we have done our personal clearing. And so it's important for us as light workers, as energy workers, as planetary grid workers, healers, all those labels. It's really important for us, as we have cleared our wound, then we're able to support more of the collective clearing, if that makes sense to you. And so this has now come to a head. And in the dreams that I've had the last 72 hours, and again, the first one was mentioned and spoken about, touched upon briefly on Friday on my live weekly energy update. Now, what that dream is, and it was so strange, I felt familiar in the place, and it actually appeared to me like one of my childhood homes. And anyways, what it was like a sex market for young girls, and they were young girls. And I would say in that dream, I was probably a teenager, the same age as these girls, except I wasn't in chains and I wasn't hanging on shelves for, mass consumption, if you will. And the masculine energy I connected with in my dream was the father energy. And it was my father in that, in that space with me, who I saw, who I connected with. And I was asking him to help these girls. Like, how could this be? This is not fair. Seriously, that could be me. And he really brushed it off and didn't do anything. And I remember, it just went on for a long time, and I was very panicked for these girls, and they were all very panicked. And it was just so much pain. And with what I realized after a day or so of just letting it sit with me, what I came to understand is that this is a time of unification, and it's taking place within each and every one of us. And I understand that the representation, the role my father played in that dream, was speaking of the collective divine feminine energy. And not many of us felt truly supported by the divine masculine in our life. And starting from those very first relationships, father and grandfather. Now, some may have had different experiences, and they may have been very supportive and loving relationships. Yet for the vast majority, that hasn't been the case. And they're saying to make the connection for this lifetime is to just keep it to this. And for many of you, you will resonate with this. Early on in this lifetime, there was a disconnect from the father energy in your life. And that father energy may have presented very aggressive and physical in nature, very verbally and emotionally unsupportive or abusive. And in some cases, and in a vast majority of cases, there has been some crossing of the line, interference with your young development as a female in this lifetime. So what that said to me is that I needed to focus on how I'm doing with the unifying of the divine masculine and feminine within, because there is not a divine masculine energy outside of myself that can truly support me in the way that I need to be supported in order to fulfill my soul's mission, purpose. So then the next dream I had, which was last night, and again, a familiar environment, it was here, except it was outside. And the people across the street were having a party or a gathering. There were some people there. out and about and young kids. And I don't know, but for some reason we had some young girls here, young girls again. And they were, although I believe that they were Jacob's friends, I mean, I didn't recognize any of them. And I don't recall Jacob being in the dream. So most of the girls had left. And there was one young girl, and I want to say 15, 16 years old, that she stayed back, and we had been chatting, and it was really lovely. And then it was time for her to go, and it was like midnight. And I said, "Let me walk you." And she goes, "No, I'm just down the street, just at the next street over, a block." And I said, "Are you sure? Like, I'll walk with you." And no, she didn't want to walk. And I said, "Okay, well, be safe. Let me know as soon as you get home." So she starts walking, and she's just past that house where they're having a gathering. And I see this group of 3 or 4 young guys run across the street and grab her. And then they're taking her in between some houses. And so now I'm screaming to call 911. I'm running out on the street, call 911, someone call 911, there's an assault happening. And, it just went on. I was two guys came running out, but the 2 older ones stayed with this girl that they had taken off of the street. And I'm screaming at the top of my lungs to call 911. There's a sexual assault happening on the street. Somebody help, somebody help. And that's kind of, then the next thing I recall is, it was very quick. Everything was very quick, like under 5 minutes. And the assault had happened. She had been raped and by these 2 guys. And it was just like from the time I had, asked if I could take her home and walk with her within 5, like from that point, it was only less than a 5-minute span, and she had been sexually assaulted by 2 guys in between some houses while I'm screaming to call 911. And people around in my dream, people in the neighborhood, particularly a lady that lives across the street, she came and talked to me about it. And apparently her part of the conversation with me is that because I ended up calling 911, and she said that she had tried to call 911 and they disconnected her because she heard me screaming. And so it was just really strange. And again, it felt really very much like we are clearing, because this ugliness is all now coming to a head. For those of us who have done our work and are able to support on a more, I want to say on the energetic levels, it's really important that we continue to do our clearing work. And I feel that last night's dream again goes right back to, women for a long time being unwilling participants in the I want to say being unwilling participants in the sex trade, because most of us value ourselves more and know that we have more worth than, an object of someone's desires. And not to diminish that it's nice to be an object of somebody's desires, absolutely. And yet, when we, within that context, how are we feeling about ourselves? And so from Archangel Michael, he reminds us, I am golden light. And we are here to burn away the energy of impurities and to truly live from our passionate desires. And that includes that sexuality. It says integrity is the message of the card, and the number of the card. The lighting is not so great in here. The number of the card is 7. So again, we are here to support those who are awakening through the 7th chakra system within the physical body. The next card out is Sacred Earth, and it is health and vitality. And it's a number, is it a 16? Yes, it's a number 16. So this speaks strongly to me of messages that have already been shared with you this morning. It is the physical body that needs our support the most at this time. And it is trusting in the wisdom, trusting in the intelligence of your physical body to clear timelines, to modify habits, to refine habits, to introduce new habits, and to really let our soul light shine. Here's, speaking of the passionate energy, soul light and truth. And our truth is that we are golden light. We have been born to shine. In fact, that's something we agreed to do long before we came here. Right. We agreed to follow our path of sacred service, the Orion Gate. And I want to say the Orion Star Gate, and it's number 33. So this is, again, health, family, home, vitality, career, our galactic family of light that is supporting our expansion here on Mother Earth. And we did come here to follow a path of service, in service to all that is divine. And now we are called to shine, and we're called to do so in a way that feels comfortable for us. Not in a way that feels comfortable for somebody else, or not in a way that we see somebody else serving and we're like, oh, what? Look, they're over there serving like that. That must be the better way to serve. No, serve in the way that you're guided. Because as you do, this is beautiful. So here is the card we got, which is Dragon Magic. We've got the dragon cards. If you see the setup for what wants to work with the dragon energy, we've got the Crystal Mandala Oracle as well as Isis right there with the dragon right in the center. So this speaks of good fortune. And I'm guided to say we're doubly blessed because it is the image on the back of the card as well. So this is great. This is number 35, which is 8. Our eternal soul self is thanking us for the sacred work we do. Our Father, our Mother, Father, God is thanking us for the work we do. Our ancestors are thanking us for the work we do. Our sacred sisters of the heart, all of us here, I'm grateful for all that you do. There are many on many different realms who are grateful for all that you do. So thank you for doing that. And know that good fortune, the wheel of fortune, is your divine birthright. Blessings flow to us now. We need only create space and open and accept. We are learning more deeply how to receive, how to support ourselves. And it doesn't take a lot. I'm hearing like 10 minutes a day that you invest in yourself. 10 minutes a day is all it's going to take for you to facilitate and navigate this shift. Yet if you're called to have a nap and you're able to have a nap, don't deny yourself the nap. Don't deny yourself anything. Because that denial it's a denial, a rejection of your sacred self. So trust, honor, and acknowledge all that you feel. Don't be limited by emotions that overtake you and have you feeling overwhelmed from time to time. It's okay. We're all doing fine. You're doing fine. You're doing great, in fact. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. No, there's nothing else for this video, sisters. So I'm going to upload it and get your playlist created before I get on to the next one, which will be, they keep showing me over there. So it will be the teachings of this circle. And for that, we're going to be working with the crystals, the dragons, and our beloved Mother Isis. And I'm feeling like it's a 3-card spread from each deck. So we'll see. So until next time, I trust you're feeling loved and supported. I love you. I'm grateful for your support. Until we meet again, shine on.